We have Halim Rane joining us from Brisbane, Australia. He's a professor of Islamic Studies at Griffith University. Is this it then? Is this an official kind of end to that ceasefire? And if so, what do you think we can expect from both sides next? Certainly some very strong language coming out of Israel.
I think we should have expected that this ceasefire was not going to last. I mean, we're either willfully naive or we're just not paying attention. When we look at Israel's record over close now to 8 decades, it's never acted in good faith towards the Palestinians. I don't think Israel has any serious intention of having peace with the Palestinian people, of affording them their rights under international law. I mean, the situation is that we have, 299 Security Council resolutions and over 900 General Assembly resolutions, of which Israel is in violation. We have statements from the International Court of Justice calling on Israel to provide humanitarian aid to end the kinds of acts that are resulting in what has been described as a plausible case of genocide against the Palestinian people. And none of this has Israel adhered to. And I think the whole problem is that we have a lack of accountability. The international community has failed in its obligation to hold Israel to account over successive decades. And now we're seeing a, unconscionable, unbearable situation to continue to have to watch now.
Halim, I hate to ask questions like this, but I think yourself kind of brought it up when you said, we haven't been paying attention and perhaps we're being naive. So I suppose, given what we've been hearing from Israel, its army chief threatening a year of war, Netanyahu threatening to use increasing military strength, these lines now that we might see a full-scale ground invasion. Is that what you're expecting on the ground? Is that what you think we will be seeing in the coming weeks and months in Gaza?
I think we should be expecting the absolute worst. If it wasn't bad enough under the Biden administration, the Trump administration has essentially signaled to Israel that it can do basically anything it wants. There seems to be no power in the world that's providing any restraint against Israel. There seems to be no power in the world that is prepared to hold Israel accountable for what it's doing. And so Israel will do the most unspeakable acts. And, if we think about what we've seen over the past 16, 17 months, almost every home destroyed, almost every hospital destroyed, every school, every university, every place of worship, including mosques and churches. I mean, honestly, when does this happen in the world? Not in my living memory have I seen such an extent of atrocities, such an extent of war crimes and crimes against humanity that have gone completely unanswered from politicians around the world, media, even universities around the world, simply making excuses or simply denying or just ignoring what Israel is doing. It's completely unconscionable.
Things then for ordinary Gazans looking terribly bleak then, given, as you say, already the level of destruction that we've seen, already the level of hunger and challenges getting basic supplies like food, water and shelter as we go forward. How do you see that playing out?
I mean, Israel has been clear from the outset regarding its intentions, with the dehumanizing language it's used, with stating explicitly that it is prepared to kill men and women, children and infants, that is prepared to starve the Palestinian people, cut off food, cut off water, cut off electricity. What else does that mean other than starving an entire population? It's been very explicit about its desire to remove the Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, and it responded with glee when United States President Trump suggested that he would remove all those Palestinians, which is basically, not basically, but emphatically stating, the intention to commit a war crime to replace the Palestinian people there with the Riviera of the Middle East. I mean, and the world has sort of sat by and not responded with the sufficient outrage that's required and the sufficient action that's required to hold Israel accountable here. I mean, there absolutely needs to be weapons embargoes on Israel. There absolutely needs to be sanctions on Israel. There needs to be the expelling of ambassadors, Israeli ambassadors. Every option available to the international community, diplomatically and otherwise, needs to be marshaled here. The Palestinian people, men, women, and children, their lives are, hanging in the balance of whether or not the international community will stand up and hold Israel to account to the standards of the rule